If you are here for the first time or you are a long-time subscriber, welcome to the Dog Star Astrology and Tarot Pack. For this week's tarot tutorial, I will be breaking down the symbolism and the meaning of the Chariot. I'm Heather Ellis, and here on my channel, I help you find clarity in love, money, and well-being, whether you are here for a reading or to learn tarot for yourself. My goal is to support you in living with more purpose and self-trust. If you are interested in the free tarot readings for your zodiac sign, be sure to check out my monthly and my weekly tarot readings. You'll find the link to this week's video in the description box below. And if you find value in today's video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It does help my channel grow, and it also tells me what kind of content you want to see more of. Now, let's jump right into our learning all about the Chariot. As we look at the Chariot card, you can see a charioteer driving a chariot. He's standing, and it's pulled by two sphinxes, one black and one white. There's a castle in the background and countryside. You can see some countryside here, and then also some water. The charioteer is adorned with armor and a crown, and there is a star at the top of the crown, and then the drapery here on the chariot is adorned with stars, and the charioteer is holding no reins. So as we get into the imagery of it, we're going to be looking at the sphinxes, the charioteer's armor, and the moons, blue-faced moons. So you can see these crescent moons here with a blue face on each of them. And we will also be looking at the stars that are on the chariot. The numerology is the number 7. The astrology is the sign of Cancer. And then we'll go into interpretations as well as career interpretation, relationship, health, and then the reversed meaning of the chariot. So I'm going to start by gluing my chariot down to the page. And this is when you can do that as well. Okay, it's a little crooked, but that's okay. We don't need perfection. I chose red because of the meaning of the chariot and that whole like drive, moving forward, determination, and I just felt red was a nice empowerment color. So I've already described the card. So what we're going to start with are these two sphinxes here. So you can see there are two sphinxes that are pulling the chariot, and one is light, one is dark. This represents duality and opposing forces that must be controlled in order to achieve balance and success. So I'm going to just write Sphinx, sphinxes, and duality, opposing forces, and controlling, opposing forces for balance and success. Okay. And now we're going to take a little quick look at the chariot's armor. So there's two parts to the armor. There's the armor here that he's wearing, is the chest plate. And then you can also see as part of the armor are these two crescent moons with blue faces. So you can see the faces right there on the moons. And we're going to talk about each of them separately. So I'm just going to start by writing armor. And for anyone who is American, I'm using the Canadian spelling because I am Canadian. So there is a U in armor. You can leave that out. So the charioteer is wearing armor, and the armor represents protection and readiness for battle, readiness for the challenge, readiness for the fight. It is the inner strength and determination to face challenges head on. So I'm going to just write protection and readiness. And then it also represents that inner strength and determination. So inner strength determination to face challenges. Okay, and now we're going to talk about the blue faces or the blue-faced moons on the shoulders of the driver. So the blue-faced crescent moons on the shoulders of the chariot driver emphasize the duality of emotion and discipline, softness and hardness. So what I mean by that is creative expression and discipline. So the chariot driver is disciplined and in control, but at the same time is pushing forward his or her creative expression and emotional desires. So it's that balance of both of those things that lead to the chariot's success in getting to their destination. In other words, your goals, your personal goals and desires. So I'm going to put it over, I'm going to put it, no, I'll put it down here underneath the armor. So blue faced crescent moons. So this represents, again, duality of emotion and discipline. So it's duality, and I'm going to just put like a colon here because I want to do what the different things that they can mean. So emotion slash discipline. Expression and discipline or expression, and I'll just put drive. I'll put drive. So again, the chariot is in disciplined and in control. So disciplined and in control. And or but at the same time pushing forward with his or her creative expression and emotional desires. So disciplined and in control, and I'm going to put tapping into creative expression slash emotions. Because your emotions can be a very important driving factor that motivate you, right? In moving forward with any kind of goals that you have. And now we're going to look at the stars on the chariot. So you can see this banner, this drapery at the top of the chariot is adorned with stars. Excuse me. These represent divine guidance and destiny, with the charioteer moving forward or moving towards a higher goal and guided by the stars above. So, stars on tapestry. Okay, so this represents divine guidance, destiny. So, moving toward a higher goal. I'm also going to put slash purpose. Okay. Now the charioteer is, or chariot card is represented by the number 7, and the number 7 represents spiritual insight, inner wisdom, and overcoming challenges. It is a number of introspection and seeking truth and success through persistence. So I'm going to write, let's see, I'm going to put that up here. So number 7. And I'm going to just write spiritual insight, inner wisdom, overcoming challenges. I'm not writing in a straight line. introspection, success through persistence. Very good. Okay. And then the astrology, as I mentioned earlier, it is related to the sign of Cancer. So, Cancer in astrology, this represents emotional depth, protection, and movement towards emotional security. And when I talk about protection, you think of that crab. Cancer is represented by that crab with that hard outer shell, but Cancer is an intuitive sign. It is connected with the moon. It's connected to emotions and really feeling emotions deeply. So you have that shell, that outer protection of the crab, but inside the crab is that ooey gooey emotional depth. So again, when we look at the astrology, this is representing emotional depth and protection and movement towards emotional security. So I'm going to just put Cancer here. Oh, I did that wrong again. I'm going to leave it as Cancer and just put in brackets astrology. I'm supposed to write astrology and then put Cancer, but oh well. So emotional depth and protection, and then emotional security. Okay. So then when we look at the interpretation, I'm just going to move my book a little bit closer to me here, and I'm going to write interpretation. So when we interpret the Chariot, it represents victory, control, and determination. It is a card of triumph over obstacles where willpower, discipline, and focused energy lead you to your success. These are the strategic qualities of the magician combined with emotion, approaching the mind and emotion with maturity and discipline. And that's what the Chariot represents. So this card suggests moving forward confidently, maintaining control or balance of personal desires and conflicting emotions or situation. So I'm just going to start with victory, control, determination. Um, Again, triumph over obstacles. So overcoming obstacles through discipline, willpower, focused energy. It's also combining emotion or combining the mind and emotions with maturity and discipline. So I'm going to put combining mind and emotion with maturity and discipline. So it's also about maintaining control or balance of your personal desires, conflicting emotions, or situations. So I'm going to put maintaining control over personal desires, conflicting emotions, or situations. Okay. Now, when it comes out in a career reading, the Chariot indicates that persistence will pay off, and knowing it's also about knowing when to adapt, when to change your strategy, or move in a different direction when you are pursuing your long-term goals. When you're looking at a relationship reading, the Chariot indicates someone that is sensitive to the needs and feelings of others despite their tough exterior, and that the individual often hides their feelings from others. So if you are looking at the Chariot coming out as your partner, then that is telling you that it requires time and patience in order to see this more sensitive emotional side of the individual. They're a bit of a tough nut to crack, so to speak. And then when we're looking at health, in a health reading, Chariot suggests that the person is consumed by their imagination or is anxious and stressed, overly focusing on emotional upsets and drama. The Chariot is also associated with digestive issues, the stomach and the breasts. The other thing with the Chariot in a health reading, because it is a card of focused determination, it also suggests that if you have any concerns about your health, that you need to be proactive and seek to take action, find answers. And now we're going to get into the reverse. I'm going to just move my page up and I'm going to put reversed down here. And when we look at the Chariot reversed, when it comes out reversed in a reading, this suggests that the person is completely focused on their emotions and have lost touch with thought and reason. This person may be overwhelmed by their emotions, such as anger, grief, and may be experiencing outbursts, like emotional outbursts. The person's feeling and emotional landscape are dominating their thinking, and there is no balance between the two. So this person may be living in the past or trying to hold on to someone or something from the past. The Chariot reversed can also indicate someone who has emotional breakdowns in private, even though they may seem very put together and on the ball in public. So the overall message or advice from the reversed Chariot is that it is time to release the past and move on. So I know that's a lot. So I'm just going to break it down here. So when it's reversed again, I'm just going to put overly focused on emotions, semicolon, lost touch with thought and reason. Also, overwhelmed by emotions. Emotional outbursts. No balance between mind and emotions. Okay. Also, living in past or living in the past. Holding on to a person slash thing from past. Also, again, that overall message or advice from the reverse Chariot is that it's time to release the past or move on. So I'm just going to put message hyphen time to move on slash release the past. Okay, and there we have it. That is our Chariot card in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment below. Please comment below and let me know if you're actually following along and creating your own book and how it's going. And make sure that you tune in next week when we look at strength. And I will see you next week. Take care.